Well, what's up, easy bakers? So you guys asked me to show you a video on how to remove your cheesecake, and baby, I'm gonna show you some tips on how to get the perfect cheesecake, how to remove your cheesecake. You got a problem with your cheesecake getting stuck at the bottom of the pan. You did all that work and your cheesecake is like, it ain't coming out right. What's going on? Well, you are in the right place, honey. Welcome to Death Row. Yeah, just kidding, girl. Too much TikTok. But like I said, if you guys want to know how to do a foolproof cheesecake, get the perfect cheesecake every time, remove any cheesecake from a springform pan without a problem, honey, you are in the right place. So basically, child, it's all about your prep work. Do you understand what I'm saying? Have your mama ever told you how you lose them is how you get them? Her is all about the beginning. Same thing go with your cheesecake. You want to get you some Pam, some butter, whatever you're going to use to go ahead and make sure nothing sticks. I do use a springform pan because that's the easiest thing you can do when it comes to a cheesecake. So I use my Pam and I generously spray. I'm not going to be wasting my butter. Now, if you got some butter you want to use, then honey, sometimes Kroger got that butter on sale for like $187, but typically it's like $250 for four little sticks of butter. And I'm gonna use this Pam. Okay, so get you some Pam and get you some parchment paper. Now, to get those nice, beautiful, clear, not any little nastiness up on the edges, you're gonna use your parchment paper on the rim of your springform pan. And I also overlap the bottom as well. So you'll see that the parchment paper at the bottom of my springform pan is not the same size. It's a little bit larger than the bottom size. And I'm going to spray that as well. So, and I know y'all gonna be like, oh, you keep spraying everything. Shut up and spray it. You the main one that cheesecake be sticky. Ain't got something to say about what you don't want to do. Spray it, heifer. Okay, and then you're gonna go ahead and move on to covering the outside of the pan with some aluminum foil, because we are gonna put this in a water bath. So that's why covering on the outside is very important as well. And you go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees before you do any of this. You know what I'm saying? So this is what you have to do before you even start to even make your crust. Okay, so get that prep work out the way. Half of the time, if you can't really remove it that easily, it's because you may not have enough crust at the bottom of your cheesecake. I know some people don't like that much crust, and I'm not trying to say that you got to put a whole inch or 5 inches of crust, but you do want to make sure that you have enough to support the cheesecake, and that your ratio with the butter and the crust is not too moist, because sometimes if it's too wet and it's like mud, it's not gonna hold up well. It's gonna be nasty bobassy. Okay, you want it to look like just a little wet sand. You guys see that I have some wetness here and then I have some dryness here. I'm using a whole stick of butter for this banana pudding cheesecake. A whole stick of butter. So if your stuff's sticking with a whole stick of butter on there, honey, it's you. I promise you, it's you. But anyways, I'm sorry. So don't mind my little beat up pan. But yeah, you want to use a water bath as well. This is going to make sure that your cheesecake stay nice and moist and it's not going to really dry out and crack. That's how you get those cracks. Y'all hear these motorcycles in this wind because I'm out of nature. Y'all know you need to stay in nature. But yeah, so make sure that you use a water bath. So the water needs to come about 1.5 inches or probably like 1 inch with your cheesecake. And that's pretty much it. You want to jiggle, biggle, just to make sure that it's nice and even. And sit that in the oven, okay? And another thing, when it's in the oven, put it in the oven for 1 hour. And once that hour is up, turn that timer off. And don't you get your big, ugly self up there and try to open up that oven. You hear me? You better not. You leave it in the oven for an additional hour or however long you had to cook it. And then once it starts to jiggle like you twerking, that's when you put it inside of the refrigerator overnight. Overnight means at least 8 hours, okay? So once you do these key steps, certain things you just cannot substitute. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty much it. If you do those key steps, you should be a gravy. So once that's done, you left that in overnight, you're just gonna go ahead and remove it from your refrigerator. Typically, I like to freeze my cheesecake the next day and let it be frozen for at least a few hours before I get ready to serve it. But for this, I'm gonna show you guys that you can remove a cheesecake without even freezing it. So you're just gonna go ahead and remove the foil, remove the attachment, and take off that parchment paper. And as you guys can see, you ain't gotta worry about your size being all ugly, bugly, shuggly. Honey, it's beautiful. Now I'm taking some parchment paper, and I'm showing you guys that this is not frozen, but I'm taking some parchment paper, putting it on top of that, taking something solid and being very careful to just flip it over. I'm trying my best because this tripod is in my way. So please forgive me, y'all. But yeah, you just want to go ahead and flip it over so you can easily remove the bottom of the pan. But if you want to, you can just remove the sides and cut it. You know what I'm saying? It really ain't that deep. But I'm just showing y'all again. This is for the holidays. So I'm going to show y'all. So you just want to go ahead and remove that parchment paper at the bottom of the pan. Like I said, I use a whole stick of butter. So you shouldn't have a problem at all, child. But go ahead and put your plate or whatever it is you're going to use and flip that thing back over. Your cheesecake should be nice and safe because you used the parchment paper and you use something heavy. I use a cutting board, but you can use cardboard. Your cheesecake is perfect, fine. As you can see, no cracks because you did use a water bath. So go ahead and decorate your cheesecake, child. How you want to decorate your cheesecake, and that's all she wrote. Do you understand what I'm saying? Using my key tips right now, I think you guys would never have a cracked cheesecake, and it will be super easy to remove each and every time. I don't care what you making. It's all about the prep. Like your mama and your grandma said, honey, it's how you lose them is how you got them, okay? Start it off right, and you ain't gonna have no problem in the end. Girl, that made me feel like my spirit is telling me, y'all, we need to do a podcast, y'all. We need to get a podcast on not even living single or how to respect yourself. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate you. I made this video especially for the people that really want to know how the heck do you remove a cheesecake. Anyways, happy Christmas, happy holidays, and I will talk to you on my next video, girl.